I'm going to show you how to do an ELDOA for L5-S1 of the spine. If there's any ELDOA you should do to keep your spine healthy, to keep it mobile, whether it's for performance or for back rehabilitation, or you just want a healthy spine, this is the stretch to do. So let's go ahead and begin. All right, so step one for this ELDOA is we want to find a wall that we can use anywhere that you can throw your feet up, because this is the position that we need to be in order to set up the spine. So what I recommend is get as close to your wall as you can. You want the side of your hips to be almost touching, otherwise you're going to take a lot of time trying to scoot towards the wall. So we're here and we're going to swing those legs over, and we want our sit bones to be completely touching the wall. Okay, so it might take you a little bit just to get into this position. Feel free to take your time. And once you're there, we want to be able to use the wall in order to secure the pelvis down. And then main goal is we want to be neutral to that wall. So pelvis should be neutral, shoulders should be neutral with the pelvis, head should be neutral with the shoulders. Okay, so everything in a nice straight line. Make any adjustments that you need to. Okay, so I need to get a little bit closer. Make sure there's no hip hiking on either side. And then from here, we can begin to press the tailbone down towards the floor, keeping our sit bones here. Okay, and then sometimes it helps having a camera behind you to review after, or having a partner, just to make sure that we're straight. Sometimes our head is off, and it's hard for us to tell, especially if we don't have a good body awareness. So go ahead and practice that, and then we'll set up the next step. All right, so for the next part, once our pelvis and shoulders are in a straight line with each other, they're both flush to the floor, we want to set up the legs. So to set up our legs, we want our legs to be completely straight, as close to the wall as they can go. If you have tight hamstrings, that might be a little bit of a challenge. So just do your best, and over time, you'll start to lengthen them, and you'll be able to get your feet a lot higher. So try to get your legs nice and straight from here. We want to be about hip width apart. To set up the legs, we're going to go into internal rotation. So that means our toes are going to point towards each other, as well as the knees. And then the next part is we want to pull our toes back towards that opposite shoulder. So my right toes are going to pull back towards my left toes pull back towards the right. We don't want our toes to touch. A little bit of space in between is what we're trying to aim for. And then we're going to take the arches of each foot, and we want to pull those arches down towards the midline, towards the belly button, like you're collapsing the arches in. You'll feel a little bit of stretching on the outside of the feet and the shins. And from here, the next part is think about pressing your heels up towards the ceiling to keep tension in your legs, but we don't want the tailbone to lift off the floor, so make sure you keep your pelvis down as you drive your heels up. Okay, and we'll start to go more into this position once we go into the full ELDOA. Let's set up the next part. Now that we have the legs secure, we're going to set up the spine. So the goal, just like all the other ELDOAs we've been going over, is to get the spine completely flat. So we want to start by pressing our lower back into the ground, and we want to work with the breath in order to set that up. So continue to breathe. See if you can flatten your lower back to the ground. See if we can get that rib cage to compress down as well. Okay. And then we're going to take the chin, and we want to drive it down towards the collarbone. And as we're doing that, think about scooping your head back behind you. Okay, so we're trying to lengthen through that cervical spine, driving the chin down. As you're doing this one, make sure you're not tensing your muscles to get into that position. That's why I say work with the breath. Your belly should be soft, and you should be able to set that up without having to tense so hard. So chin is down. Eyes are very important. We want our eyes to look down towards our cheekbones, or if you're wearing a belt buckle, imagine looking towards that belt buckle. Continue to breathe. See if you can flatten down a little bit more. And the next part is we want to set the intention of the crown of our head driving back behind us, and the tailbone driving away from the tail of the head, the crown of the head. So imagine your spine elongating long ways. We're creating more space. And then we're ready for that next part. Okay, with my spine straight and the legs are straight with a little bit of internal rotation, the toes are pulling back. Should feel very tense in this position. We can progress to the next part if you're ready. We can take both arms up towards the ceiling. We reach our palms up, so our fingers are pulling back. And we want to go into external rotation. So our fingers are going to point towards our legs. And push your palms up towards the ceiling, and you'll feel your shoulder blades leaving the ground. So we're creating now tension in those arms. So we're lifting, we're pulling the fingers back. Make sure we're breathing and don't lose that straight spine. Keep pushing, And if you're ready to progress to the next part, we take one arm back behind us. And then we can take the other arm and reaching back. See if you can reach your thumbs to the floor. We don't want our arms to rest down though. You want to keep tension, trying to get your biceps close to your ears. And then we're going to work in that full minute starting now. So we're here in our full ELDOA. I'm going to remind you of those full progressions as you hold this one. We want to keep our legs internally rotated, feet towards each other. Pull those toes back to the opposite shoulder. You want to drop those arches in towards the belly button. Don't lose that tension. Keep driving those heels up, but keep your pelvis down to the ground. You should still feel those sit bones against the wall. Keep your lower back down. Make sure you are breathing. It's very important to breathe. Nice, even breaths. And breathe in through your nose. Keep your lower back pressed down towards the floor. Keep your rib cage pressed. Try to get those biceps closer to your ears as you're driving your palms back behind you, like you're trying to hold back a wall. So push that wall behind you. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Chin down just a little bit more. I know you can. Keep breathing into that lower back. This shouldn't feel easy. Should be at max effort right now if you're doing the full progression today. Deeper breath in. Let's go for just a little bit longer. Internal rotation more. Pull those toes back. Push those feet up to the ceiling. Keep the pelvis down. Biceps in. Chin down, eyes down. Keep elongating that spine. Let's go for 10 more seconds. Now when we relax out of this position, we don't relax everything at once. Only one arm at a time. 3, 2, just your right arm relaxes. Just your left arm relaxes. Relax your foot on each leg. Relax your knees, slightly bend them. Then you can relax your hips. Relax your low back. Relax your rib cage. Relax your shoulders and your chin. The last thing that's going to relax will be the eyes. They can drift up towards the ceiling. We're working with the nervous system today, so you want to make sure you give your body a lot of time to recover, so take a couple of breaths from here. Notice the sensations in your own body as you're breathing. You can introduce a little movement to your head by turning your head right and to the left. Give yourself as much time as you need to recover. Okay, and then when you're ready to come out of this position, we want to move the pelvis and the shoulders at the same time. So we're going to either roll out to the right or to the left, wherever you have space. And let's move the shoulders and hips at the same time, rolling out of it. And then you can sit up when you're ready. And that's how you do an ELDOA for L5-S1. Give that one a practice. Be patient with that stretch. Only progress when you're ready. Enjoy.